My video yesterday was a gentle pushback on the concept of minimalism and how tough it can be to have a minimal aesthetic by virtue of simply being poor. But I also mentioned that I'm not a helpless victim of circumstance and that I'm poor in part because of conscious decisions I've made. This video is about those choices, as well as a couple personal philosophies that guide those choices. Let's cover the philosophies first, though. If you clicked because of Toph and Avatar: The Last Airbender, I won't keep you waiting. In Season 2, Episode 3 of Avatar: The Last Airbender, Aang journeys to Omashu to ask an old friend, King Bumi, to be his earthbending teacher.
That's why you surrendered, isn't it?
Yes, and it's why I can't leave now.
Bumi says no, though, because the time and place isn't right.
You need to find someone who waits and listens before striking.
A few episodes later, we meet Toph.
The boulder feels conflicted about fighting a young, blind girl.
Sounds to me like you're scared, Boulder.
Toph embodies the principle of waiting and listening better than any other earthbender because she's blind. She doesn't see her surroundings, she has to feel them out and respond accordingly. Wait and listen. In life, we're faced with many challenges, some scarier than others. When life throws you a curveball, it's easy to flail and do something rash to try and solve your problems. I was laid off unexpectedly from my 9-to-5 in early 2024, and I really panicked. I had just spent months applying for that job, and I couldn't financially handle being unemployed for long. So I contemplated subletting my New York apartment and moving back home with my parents until I figured something out. But I was rewarded for my patience when a family I used to babysit for reached out in search of long-term childcare. I've been a nanny ever since. My other life philosophy that goes hand in hand with waiting and listening came to me in high school. I was getting ready to move to Germany for a year as an exchange student, so I asked a friend who just completed the same exchange program what to expect. He said, nothing. Don't expect anything. Whatever expectations you have will be shattered immediately. Just go with an open mind. No expectations, or at the very least well-managed expectations, has been a guiding star for me ever since. I think managing expectations is essential. Let me give you an example. Say you're ordering a pizza for delivery. It's a slow night and the person on the phone says your pizza will be there in 20 minutes. When it takes 30 minutes though, you're a little miffed. Let's say instead the person on the phone had told you it would be 35 to 45 minutes. When your order gets there in 30 minutes, you'd say, wow, that was fast. The pizza got there in the same amount of time in both scenarios, but your outlook was influenced by how your expectations were set. So I've done my best to keep my expectations as low as possible over the years. This can be a slippery slope into pessimism though, so I couple my low expectations with high hopes and I try to keep them separate. I hoped for the videos in this series to get 1,000 views apiece, but I expected them to get 25 views apiece. Reality didn't live up to my hopes, but it exceeded my expectations. It's been easier for me to roll with the punches of life when I've had minimal expectations, and it's made it easier to go with the flow when I haven't made big plans. And since I've spent so much time waiting and listening, I generally know when it's time to make a move. I never planned to move to New York after college, but when someone came to me with an apartment I could afford, I took it. I never even auditioned for my first professional acting jobs. The casting directors just happened to be at an industry showcase of mine and gave me a call back based on that. This is all luck, don't mistake me, but in not latching onto things or making decisions out of fear, I've had a much easier time accepting these gifts when they present themselves. And not basing decisions on fear is hard. A smarter, more sensible me probably wouldn't have moved to New York because it's expensive, I'm broke, and flying by the seat of your pants is risky. It was also risky to work as a nanny long term and not try harder to rejoin the corporate world. I was making $32 an hour as a receptionist at a hedge fund, but I was also working and commuting 55 hours a week and I had no work-life balance. As a nanny, I worked 25 to 30 hours a week with a family I adore. It's less money, but the flexibility and extra time I have to spend on creative endeavors is worth that to me. It's definitely hard being poor, but I've made the conscious choice time and time again to make less money and take more time to enjoy my life. And I've never regretted it. But I'm also not trying to sell you on the idea that money doesn't buy happiness. Believe me, if 50 grand fell out of the sky, my quality of life would improve immensely and immediately. Money buys you security, peace of mind, and nice things, all of which can make you happier. I just personally found it harder to enjoy all of those things when I had no time, no life, and sat at a desk all day. These are my philosophies and my decisions, though. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life. I mean, heck, Sweet Lou has an unparalleled stock portfolio, works 86 hours a week, and is happy as a clam. Tell him, Sweet Lou. Sweet Lou still doesn't want to talk to you. 100 bands, 100 bands, 100 bands. And with that, thanks for watching. Special thanks to those that support me on Patreon. I'll see you tomorrow.